Tonight on the Hornby magazine show, we modernise Stockton Ln.
We introduce some working road vehicles.
And I play with some trains.
Again.
Hello and welcome to the Hornby magazine show Christmas special.
Yes, a very Merry Christmas, and we hope you're having a happy, festive modelling season.
And we've got a Christmas gift for you as well with our extra Hornby magazine show tonight, where we've got lots of things to show you. We're back on the diversion route at Stockton Ln, but this time rather than the trains, we're going to be showing you how to install working road vehicles with the fallow car system. And we've got plenty more on the way as well. We've got our favourite models of 2020.
Plenty of those.
Plenty of those. A few highlights of things we're looking forward to in 2021, and a few more surprises along the way too.
And presents.
Presents.
Are these real?
I thought they were just boxes.
Took my hopes up. So I think it's high time we see what Mike's been up to here on Stockton Ln.
Hi, I'm Richard and you're at DCC Concepts in Settle. So we manufacture and sell loads of stuff from just micro LEDs, nano LEDs through our entire alpha range, things like mimic LEDs for your control panels, point motors, Loco decoders, rolling roads, and all the way through to little track gauges and back-to-back gauges to keep your railway running smoothly. Loads of stuff. So you can buy our products from dccconcepts.com. You can make an appointment, come and visit us at our shop. Or we've got a network of authorised dealers that you can purchase our products from. And if you want to know if there's a dealer near you, just go to our website and click Dealer Near Me.
Hello and welcome back to the Hornby magazine workshop for a continuation of our work on the diversion route. Where you left off last time, we'd started the scenic work coming down towards the new bridge. We're just about to start making progress on the next section which leads back to the tunnel. Plus, we've got a new extension to put in on the front of the scenery here, and that's for a very important reason. We're going to be adding in the fallow working road vehicle system onto this layout as well. So that's going to give us a nice loop of vehicles running up and down this hill, and we're looking forward to showing you how we do that in this video. Okay, so where we left off last time, we'd left this bit of road sticking out from the end of the baseboard, and you might have wondered why. You might have guessed as to what we're going to do. Basically, the plan is to expand the width of the baseboard for this section of the layout, which originally wasn't part of my plan for this scene, but in order to get the fallow vehicle system to be able to do a loop, so it's got to have a place for vehicles to turn around and come back in. So I wanted to create a way of vehicles coming up this piece of road, going up the hill, turning around in the hillside at the back there, coming back down the hill, underneath the bridge, and be able to turn around again, so they can keep going around the same loop over and over again. To do that, I've either got to have just a loop sat in the middle of the workshop, which I don't think would look very good. I did have a silly idea earlier just to take the road straight across the bridge on the other side of the layout, but maybe that is actually a bridge too far. So instead, what I decided to do is to expand the width of this baseboard. So there's going to be 2 new panels of plywood on here. So it will start off just sort of in line with the track there. So it will come across at an angle up here. It'll open up to about this width out, so probably about another foot's width on top of the current baseboard seam we've got. Now I might actually just pull it back in a little bit as it comes back down to here, and then we're going to create a turn back loop inside here, so there'll be a baseboard surface just underneath the framework, and that will give us the place to turn the vehicles back around underneath there. So we're to turn around under there, come out of here, go over the top of a little bridge over the river, then they'll turn around a sharp left here to go under the bridge, sharp right out the other side of the bridge, up the hillside to the top, turn back around behind the hillside and do the whole thing in reverse to come back to where they started, and they'll be able to keep running around on the fallow vehicle system loop. So it's been quite a lot of work to do this, but I'm actually really looking forward to this. I wanted to put in working road vehicles on a layout for a really long time. We've never quite had the right situation. I think because a lot of the time when people are building model railway layouts, well certainly when I've been building model railway layouts, it's been about the railway first and perhaps the roadways come as a secondary. So we tend to have static road vehicles instead, but this is a great opportunity to be able to do something different, to showcase some new products as well that we've not shown before in the magazine. Without further ado, I'm going to go and get my saw out, get my piece of plywood, get that cut to shape, get it fixed in place, and we can move forward with the fun of making working road vehicles. Okay, so one thing I did forget is that because I'm going to be pouring water on here at some stage in the layout's future, I need to make sure this joint here is sealed. I'm using PVA glue. It's going to be under a layer of scenery anyway, so it's going to have more of the rock casting on front of it, so it won't be a problem. So I'm just going to put a little line of PVA along the edge here. Just make sure that's seals in place, and that should stop any ingress of water through there. Like I say, by the time we've got a layer of the hydrocal plaster over there as well on top, it's going to make sure we're just nice and sealed up so we don't lose all the water. Okay, so just drawn a line straight down here, and then I'm slightly conscious that Richard might just walk into it from time to time, so I may just soften the edge on that and just curl it in a bit rather than giving it a straight hard edge. But we're going to offer it up to the layout, double check that, go and cut this off, and we can get this piece fixed into position as well. Okay, so we've made good progress here. I've got the 2 panels of timber in place. There's a bit of cleaning up to do along the edge and a little bit of paint work as well. I want to put some grey along the very front edge here so it blends in with the rest of the style of the layout as well. So this has now set the way for us to start on the scenic work, and that will allow us to bring the road through this scene and start expanding the scenery down from here, which is going to give some really nice scenic vistas on this section of the layout as well. So what's next? That's the important question. Well, what's next is a little bit vague, but there's a basic plan. So the road's going to curve out of here, so I'm going to have to expand this deck to take it over here. I've got a little Will's occupational bridge kit here, which will give me a different style of bridge to the railway bridge for the road to go over the river. I'm probably going to put that right down at baseboard level. So the idea is that as the river comes down underneath the bridge, it's going to come down a waterfall behind the railway there, comes through the bridge, there'll be a little weir here as well, and then it will run down underneath the road bridge and come to the edge of the baseboard. The road's then going to have to go over that bridge, head over into the corner there. It's got to do a turnaround underneath the actual railway board. Yeah, there's quite a bit to go into this area, and it's going to take a little bit of time to put all that together. Let's get to it. So Richard's really at pains to make sure you understand that it was his idea to make the modification to the road this way. He's hovering over me like a buzzing bee, saying, "Don't forget to tell them it was my idea." So it's Richard's idea to do this. So what I've done is I've cut the roadway in half, and then I've flipped the piece over, and then made another little, took off another little piece just to make sure we get the right angle for the two pieces to join together. It means the road's going to go across the river at an angle, which actually will probably be quite nice, actually, 'cause it means the river can perhaps flow this way instead now, and just change the shape of things a little bit. Now I'm just making sure here that we've got enough space for two lorries to run down the roadway, because that's quite important. So we've got two vehicles to move around on the fallow vehicle system. I want to be able to pass them without them colliding with each other. And then my next job now is going to be to, well, actually probably what I'm going to do first, I'm probably going to set the road up at the right height now, just for this section. Get that all bedded in. And then I'm going to straighten off this end as well. And then I'm going to make the section of roadway to go inside the return loop here, just so everything runs on the same nice smooth surface all the way through. So that's as far as I can go for the time being. All this now needs to dry and set overnight, but we've got the basis of the road in, and to be quite honest, I'm just eager to get onto the next work session where we can start installing this. So this is Gagemaster's starter set for the fallow road vehicle system. It comes with a working Mercedes Sprinter van and all the stuff you need to actually start laying your own roadway as well that works. So yeah, looking forward to that tomorrow.
Tony's Trains of Rugby is located at Hillmorton Locks on the outskirts of Rugby. We are open Tuesday to Saturday 10 till 5 but closing early on Saturday at 4 o'clock. We stock Hornby Backman, Graham Farish, Pico, Gauge Master, Howjam, Oxford and Oxford Diecast, Cure Scale and more. We also have a large selection of second-hand models to suit all budgets. You can either visit us in store or reach me on 01788 543 442, visit our website tonystrainsofrugby.com or find us on Facebook.
It's the next day in the Hornby magazine workshop and we're ready to start work on installing the Faller vehicle system onto the layout now. So we've done all our groundwork, it's all dried overnight and set into place, and the important starting point is the Gauge Master Faller vehicle system starter pack. Now that's got everything you need in this box to actually start building a Faller road system. Now there's two main ways in which you can lay the Faller road system onto your layout. The first is to use their laser cut panels which are pre-designed for a roadway. So they have a groove made into them already which will accept the contact wire for the vehicles to follow. Now that works perfectly if you're designing your layout from the ground up, so where you've got complete freedom over where your roads are going to go and you planned it in as part of a railway system. But where you've got a layout like ours where really the road's quite custom in terms of its route and things, and it's got to flow around a number of other scenic obstacles, then there is another way to do that, and that's to use the special contact wire that Faller supplies in these kits. And you can lay that directly on the surface of the road here, and then it needs to be covered over with their road filler. Now, the important part with that is to make sure that the guide wire is literally right at the surface of the filler. So you don't want to bury the guide wire underneath it. It's got to be a nice, even trim over the top of that. So we'll come on to that later in the video anyway. So first though, I'm going to go through the contents of what you get in the starter set. So first and most important is their contact wire. Now you get 10 metres of this in the starter pack, and that's what your vehicles will follow with the little magnet that's under the front wheels, and that allows them to navigate around a road system. So we've got two sections of that. Next we've got the roadway filler, which is what's going to give us the final dress surface for the road. You mix that with water and then it turns into a paste, and then you move that onto the road. So we've got a 500 gram pack of that in there. We've got Faller's roadway paint as well, which has got an extra grip in it as well to help the Faller vehicles run around on the road system. So really useful to have that in the box. Handily, we've got a vehicle as well. So we've got a Mercedes Sprinter medium wheelbase van, and that's finished in plain white for this set. But it does come with a set of transfers which can be applied to it. So you can either finish it with Network Rail branding, or you can even finish it as Gauge Master Model Railway Store as well. So a couple of choices of things you can actually put on the side of that van to decorate it up to run your layout. There's also in the kit, there's a charging lead, which you can use to power up the battery inside the vehicle as well. So it's got a 3-pin plug on it, which plugs into the bottom of the vehicle. They also include a UK 3-pin mains adapter as well, so you can plug this into your mains system as well to allow charging of the vehicle. The transformer takes care of that change from 240 volts to the required power for the vehicle. There's also a couple of extras as well. So we get some roadside markers, the kind of things you'd see at the edge of a road as you're going around a corner to highlight where the curve is. There's also some crash barriers as well, which come in a couple of plastic sprues, so you can build those up to run alongside a roadway system in places as well. Finally, completing the list of items in the pack, you also get a set of road markings. They are German outline, but there are features within there which can be used on a British scene as well, so a bit of option with that. Plus, you get some nice little wing mirrors to go on your Mercedes van. You also get a spatula in the kit as well, which can be used for mixing and spreading the roadway filler onto the layout. Now, we're going to be doing a detailed step-by-step guide in the February 2021 issue of Hornby magazine, and that's on sale from January the 6th in Tesco and January the 7th on general sale as well. And that'll have a full feature showing more detail this in photographs as well, to be able to follow that step-by-step through there. Right, on to the next step. Now, last month in the Hornby magazine show, you saw me install all the woodland scenics fine leaf foliage along the back of the layout here. I didn't glue that in place, and I didn't glue it in place for a very good reason, and that's that I was pretty sure that when it came to installing the road, I was going to have to remove it all to make sure I had the right clearance of the road. So that's the next thing I'm going to do. I'm going to clear the way for laying out my contact wire, and we can get on with that process. Okay, so I've made a start now on installing the guide wire for the road vehicles. So what I've done is I've been practicing my method, making sure it's going to work. So basically it's double-sided tape, which holds the guide wire to the road base, and then the guide wire is laid into that, which holds it in place. There have to be gaps in this about every 50 to 70 centimetres. It's one of the instructions with these kits to ensure the guide wire works perfectly with the vehicles. It also prevents the guide wire from pinging up due to temperature changes as well. So I've laid it from just at the corner here to the road, take a road vehicle into the turn back here. So this bit here underneath the railway baseboard won't actually be seen when we're finished. So I've got a plan to kind of make that disappear into a row of bushes and things to make it just look like the road kind of turns away from the railway and disappears into its own little environment there. The next thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to add a next section of guide wire from this point along over the bridge here and turning around the corner here, and I'm going to stop and terminate that section before going through the bridge. The piece for the outside line is going to be a single piece that goes all the way through the bridge. It'll come out the other side there, and then I'll do another joint there, and then we'll start going up the hill. There we go. So that is the next section of guide wire in place. I've got my gap, I've got my wire, and now a road vehicle will follow that. Like I said, if I do a little test of that, you'll see the steering axle doesn't really follow the road properly, and that's because of the type of surface it's running against. So it doesn't really like the type of surface I've got here, but it is following the guide wire, as you can see. And now it's running to a bridge, because we're out of guide wire. So just retrieve the van from the bridge, so you can see that the concept works. We're still a few steps away from a perfect working road system, but we will get there soon. Guide wire's in place, in most of it anyway. There's a couple of little bits I've got to come back and give a little bit more attention to. So where we've got some really tight curves, we're going to use some Rocket Hot Deluxe Materials super glue just to bond that in place and make sure it stays where we want it to do. Other than that now, it's time to go and mix some roadway paving and start screening that on to give the final surface for the road. So this mix is 2 parts of the roadway filler that Fowler produces for its road vehicle system, and 1 part water, mixed together in this plastic tub. I'm then using a metal scraper here to lay it between the 2 guide wires, and ensuring that we fill as much of the roadway in as possible. Right, so I'm now on the first stage of creating the actual road surface, which is taking an awful lot of concentration for me to try and smooth out this roadway filler as much as possible in the first application. I'm trying to minimise how much sanding I've got to do with the filler afterwards. It will take sanding, so I can take back the lumps and bumps out of it once it's set, but the smoother I can get it whilst I'm here applying it, the less work I've got to do later.
I'm Julie and I'm the owner of York Modelmaking and the online shop York Model Rail. We sell architectural components and line-side detailing for model railways, and our online shop, it mainly has N, OO and O gauge on it, but because we cut everything in-house, it means that we can rescale things and we can do bespoke orders to cater for any scale, any gauge, whatever you need making. You can find our products through our online shop, yorkmodelrail.com, and you can contact us through that, or you can email us directly, or you can phone us on 01904 400 358.
Right, so it's been another overnight drying session for all the road filler we put down, and that's now all solid and ready for us to start on the next part of the process. So what happens with the filler is once it's set, as good as my scraping was, it wasn't perfect. So we now got a few little lumps and bumps in the road surface, which means that when we put a vehicle on, it does, you can see it kind of wobbles around and bumps about as it's going down the road. There's a few little bits where actually it does stop the vehicle moving as well. Good thing is, it's all really simple to fix. All we need is some sandpaper and a little bit of time just to clean up the road surface and prepare it for the vehicles to run smoothly around it. The good part really is that the principle of it is all working. It's all working exactly as I wanted it to. Right, sandpaper time. Okay, so that's the first skim of plasters now all sanded down. There's a few bits which need to do a little bit of a reskim on, where we've got bits where the plasters sunk a bit lower than the guide rail. That's just to make sure we get consistent running around the whole circuit of the thing. It does work. The road vehicles will drive around it. There's a couple of bits where it's a little bit slippy for the tyres, which again we take that out when we go onto the road paint. So we're going to put the sandpaper down, have another vacuum up, go over with another skim of roadway where we need to do, and then we can sand it up and move on to the painting phase. Right, the roadway is now complete. There's got one little bit I've got left to sand up the top, but apart from that I'm ready to get on with the next stage, which is going to be to start using the Falla roadway paint. I've got my brush ready, I've got my paint in the pot ready to go. So give that a little shake, we'll start laying down the road colour. Now this also gives a little bit of support for the vehicles to help them grip the road as well, so we'll be able to see them running more reliably too. Right, off we go. Okay, so we've come to the end of what we're going to do for this episode of the Hornby magazine show on this section of the layout. You can see behind me actually the scenery's advanced a little bit, but there's quite a bit more I want to do in this area in terms of bringing the waterway through underneath the road bridge, detailing the background, also finishing off this corner as well. However, we do now have a fully working Falla road vehicle system. The roads are painted, we've got white markings in on quite a lot of it as well, well, I'm really pleased with how it's come together so far. The FedEx van's running around really nicely behind me. We've got trains crossing on the bridge behind as well. And it's great to see this extra bit of movement in the layout as well. Something I've been really looking forward to doing is the Falla vehicle system and making that work and come to life. It's brought a new dimension to what we've got here. So there's still more to go with this scene to actually finish this off, but we're not actually that far away from finishing the top of the Dale diversion for the time being. There's probably a list as long as my arm of other jobs that want to be done, but we're going to have a basic scene here complete very soon. So the main things to do next are going to be to add in the water for the river. There's a lot of detail I want to do to the stream bed there as well. There's then all the stonework to go in along the back, leading up to the tunnel portal there as well. Then I've got a bit of work to do around the front of the layout here to actually blend the roadway in, so it kind of looks like it disappears into a line of trees. I've got a plan in mind for how I'm going to do that, but which needs a little bit of work to make it all come together. Then immediately behind me, there is the new blank area of wood there, and that's going to be filled, and we're going to turn that into a fully completed scenic area as well. It's going to give us some really nice photographic shots looking down towards the bridge there where the HST is just coming out behind me now. So, lots more to come. Beyond that, I've also got plans for lighting, electronics, and many more things too. So this is by no means what you'd call a complete scene, but it is as far as it's going to go for the time being.
My name's Jonathan Taylor. I'm the manager of Going Loco. It's in Wakefield, West Yorkshire. We sell Bachmann, Hornby, Pico, Dapple, Oxford Rail, Airfix, you name it, pretty much everything. We pride ourselves on our rare pieces that we get in from time to time. Going Loco is a large store featuring various rooms of stock. It has a large car park which is free, and we are not far away from Outward railway station as well. You can email us via goinglocomodels@hotmail.com. You can also call us on 01924 824 748. Our website is www.goinglocomodels.com.
Well, as you've just seen, Mike's been working tirelessly on this section of the Topley-Dale diversionary route with the bridge and the new road section with the Fowler road system being introduced. Of course, to my left as well, we've got the completed section of the quarry area, and it's a little bereft of wagons at the moment, and those of you who are regular viewers of the Hornby magazine show know that we quite like to test/play with trains. So when you come to exhibitions, you'll normally find me very happy if there's a shunting area on one of our exhibition layouts. That's where I normally spend most of the exhibitions. So I'm going to just put the layout to the test. It looks like it should work rather well. I'm just going to do a little bit of shunting. Come and join me.
Because I think you'll agree that adds something very special to a layout.
Oh, most definitely. That's absolutely superb. Just adds a new dimension to the whole model railway aspect.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure to install it. It's something I wanted to do for a long time on a model railway. I've never quite had the right situation before. So just take a little bit of planning to make sure you've got space to have the returns and the run for the vehicle. But if you are planning to install, or you like the idea of adding fella to your layout and you haven't actually started your layout yet, then you're at the best place because you can actually design it in from the ground up. And there's loads of other features you can add as well, including things like traffic lights that work and actually stop the vehicles. You can add junctions so you can change vehicles off in different directions as well, and all of that is possible with the kit that's available to expand on this range. There's lots of vehicles as well, so loads of potential.
I love the fact that you can look at it from this distance, for example, and it doesn't look out of keeping, bearing in mind it's HO scale up against 00 gauge.
Yeah, that's right. Here you wouldn't notice, would you?
No.
So it looks superb, and I've got loads of ideas as well for little things I can do for this as well to expand upon what we've done so far. I mean, actually, I've got a very silly idea about how I could expand it a lot, but maybe later we might talk about that. But yeah, there's other simple ideas I can do in the meantime as well. So.
And I guess there's potential to convert vehicles and stuff as well if you wanted to.
Yeah, absolutely. That's one of the first things I've got on the mind to do for this is actually to convert a British 00 scale vehicle to have a Falla car chassis in it, so it can have a proper British vehicle running up and down the road as well.
I love the way that you could put in a bus stop, say, so workers could get to the mill from the station and things like that and have it really go around. But
yeah, loads of potential, like you say. So more to come. Right, on to the next part of the show, which is going to be our favourite items of 2020. So 2020, despite a few challenges along the way, has been an incredible year for new releases across model railway scales. I mean, for 00N and O gauge, we've seen some really significant arrivals, and what we thought we'd do now is assemble some of the big new locomotive releases from 2020 here on Topley Dale, and talk about some of the highlights and also our own personal favourites as well. So this is nothing to do with magazine reviews, it's just me, Mark and Richard going, I want that one the most for my own collection. So, like I say, lots to look at, lots to talk about.
lots of colour definitely on the layout here.
Yeah, definitely. Well, nice mix of steam and diesel as well. We've got plenty of colour, like you say. Obviously, for clear reasons, we can't get the O gauge models up on here as well, but there is some really quite significant items of that as well. Think about the Class 50, we've had the A3, the A4, there's the Dapple 14XX as well. There's been the rerun of the Helgen Class 35 high mech as well. Loads of really good stuff coming through, and new wagons for the scale as well, with the turbot and the banana van. So lots to look for.
For Engage, there was the EFE Class 17, which was a superb model when that turned up this year.
Absolutely, yeah, and that joined the HST prototype from Dapple as well. We had quite a few new carriage and wagon releases as well during the year, didn't we, for Engage? From Revolution Trains and Graham Farish really led the way there.
Yeah, they did.
With some really nice new carriage of the Thompsons and the Mark IIs in Engage. We had the Sturgeon, the KUAs, the IPA car carriers all in Engage from Revolution Trains as well. And they've got loads more projects in the fire as well.
Mm-hmm. No, this year's really been superb, actually, in the big scheme of things in terms of model releases, whichever scale you're in, and particularly in 00. For me, it's been very much the year of the multiple unit. For the Class 158, there was the 2-hap electric multiple unit, which caught my eye, and I think particularly for me, the favourite has been the Bachmann Class 117 and the 121. The two of them actually turned out beautifully. And actually take me back many years for travelling, sat behind the driver on the Reading to Gatwick line, bouncing along the track, watching the journey as you do. It just took me back. Fantastic model.
There's always the seat to aim for a DMU, isn't it? The one right behind the driver, and then you sit down, and then the driver looks around at you and goes.
I was going to say, if you were lucky back in the day, they'd have the blind lifted.
Yeah.
If you weren't lucky, you'll have had the blind down, but somebody over the years will have cut little holes through the blind, so you could just peek through at various points to watch the journey. Or you could just crook your neck to the centre line, because invariably the blind to the centre line would be left. So
these are 3+2s as well, where they had that kind of offset centre seating.
Yeah, they were lovely actually. Yeah,
and really
nice soft seats. They used to bounce along.
So I never really travelled on the 117s, much because they were out of my era at the time. I was young enough to travel on, or old enough.
Yeah, the 117s, and there was still some 119s and stuff knocking around all the time, and the odd 101, of course.
101s were the main thing I got from Yorkshire.
These were great. I mean, they were more commuter stock, but they did run along the line down to Gatwick on those services, as well as running in and out of Paddington.
And Richard, have you got any favourites that are lined up on the layout here?
Oh, I have so many. I mean, like Mark says, the multiple, the 158 in particular is very nice. You've obviously got the Hatton 66, which I'm stealing from you.
You can try.
Yes. I've just treated myself to the GPRF Class 50s from Hornby, and I think they look very colourful. But I have to say, absolutely blindsided me was the Sutton Class 24, because it wasn't on the radar at all. But having a look at the review sample we had here, it just blew me away. The sound and the quality of the Loco out of the box, ready to run, is just
and
amazing.
as you say, sample, I had an accident with my wallet and it became a permanent resident.
I think we all did between us. I mean, I went for the research department one of Experiment.
Yeah, for 9701. Yeah, I was tempted to try and extend the wallet reach to that one as well. But,
And I think across the board, like we were saying earlier, the calibre of these models is just so high nowadays. But the for me anyway, the 24 just rose the bar.
It is a fabulous logo, absolutely fabulous. I've wanted to get one for the layout and been meaning to buy one for the layout ever since they came out. It never quite fell at the right time, and then they did the re-release this year. I thought, you know what, it just needs to be. It's needed. It's not even wanted anymore. It's needed as part of the fleet.
What about you?
Well, for me, again, sport for choice, really. I mean, there really are some fabulous models this year. I mean, I could pick a reason to pick any of them as that one that I would want. In the end, actually, I think it comes down to two for me. It's a choice of two, which are actually probably two of the most unusually coloured on the layout. One is Rocket. I think everyone has been charmed by Rocket this year. Absolutely fabulous product from Hornby. But actually, the one that I've personally wanted to have a model of myself for so long is actually GT3. And when that arrived and I took that out of the box, I'm just like, this is really smart. It's a really good looking, really nicely finished product. It's GT3. There's nothing else like GT3, is there? And to have a model of a gas turbine ready to run, and it to be that one as well. But out of all of them, I think it probably has the least kind of options on it, really. Maybe 18100 as well, but like the Brown Bovary one's got 2 or 3 liveries on it. GT3 with its steam chassis as well, it's just totally different, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's just got something about it that just jumps out at you.
I was probably one of the first that was straight in there going, right, care models, take the money, I want to see GT3 made. Really where the mouth is moment. But yeah, I do think that 2020's releases have been absolutely fabulous. You look across the board, like what list we had for the Hornby Magazine Model Railway Awards, even since we did the list for those, more new items have been released. So, for example, GT3, the Mogul, there's the Bachmann 1P, the Bachmann 94XX, all of those have come out since we did the Hornby Magazine Model Railway Awards lists as well. And then you've got things like the rolling stock as well. You know, look at what's come out for rolling stock this year. You've got, there's the Hornby sliding door Mark III coaches, which I think are really nice, got some nice features on those. Acura scale has been lifting the bar with it's ready to run rolling stock as well. We saw the PFAs early in the year. I've just recently seen the PTA tipplers as well. We're all a little bit in love with PTAs at the moment.
It's the working lights that do it.
Yeah. There's just something about 10 of those wagons in a rake looking just the business.
It's that bulk train thing, isn't it?
It is, absolutely. Just add locomotive.
Just add locomotive, again, I was swayed by their Semflows as well. I bought a rake of those early in the year. Whoops. Whoops.
Yes, very much whoops.
Whoops. By the way, in bank balance terms, they're not in terms of the model great. It's just whoops.
But they look so good, you know, and they do. The nice fact is that you can buy a rake of a proper train effectively in one go if you wish, or build it up, you know, if funds don't allow. But you've got the options there, and you've got these ready to run straight out of the box. Full-on formations with different numbers. No more do you have to go rubbing numbers off and adding new transfers on. If necessary, you can just pop them all together and off you go. Yes, very good.
Yeah, brilliant year, brilliant models. So many more to look forward to as well.
I'm sure 2021 will have lots of exciting surprises for us.
That's right. Well, obviously, there's been a few things that have been slightly delayed at the end of this year. I think a lot of people will be aware of some of the delays that have hit models at the moment, and there's a number of reasons for that, which we won't get into the details of this, because it's going to be fun, so ignore that bit. But there is a lot more to come in 2021, and that's from across the board. So again, across the scales of 00, N, O gauge, and 009 as well. I've got new releases for all of those on the way, and from all the manufacturers as well. Everyone's got something in development at the moment.
I'm rather looking forward to the APT coming through.
Yes, yeah, that is another highlight model. Again, I think we were very similar
14
there,
odd
straight away.
vehicles.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be a stretch to put it round this layout, but
be nose to
nonetheless,
nose.
it's going to look the part. It really is.
That's the excuse to get West Coast Cement out there, isn't it?
It
So
is, yes, and it will look just right on that.
We'll have to get the marquee out again.
We'll get the marquee out again. We'll get it out in the garden again. We'll get West Coast Cement up again.
Good excuse.
Yeah. So I think I've ordered 7 coaches of APT so far.
Fine.
So yeah,
We'll see how long that lasts.
One train back. I haven't thought about the rest of it yet. So
Start gently, I think is probably the best way to do it.
yeah. Well, have you got any favourites coming up next year? Actually, I know what your favourite is. I don't need to ask you really.
Well, obviously you've got the Class 91. I'd love to see. I think my sarcasm meter just went off the chart there. But, I can't wait to get that in my hands and have a look at it.
Yeah.
I'm still obviously from 2020 looking forward to the Class 800 though, in the L and R livery.
Yep.
So that'd be nice. I'd love to get 10 cars or 2 sets together, nose to nose,
Yeah.
on West Coast Cement
That'd be good.
while it's out.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So that will look smart. So I hope you've got nice wide curves on your platforms because unfortunately 800s do struggle through my platforms. So the 26-metre coaches, this is not designed for 26-metre coaches.
It's carved out a nice curve on the layout, though. Yeah.
What the people at home don't see is the collection of steps of locos that get caught at Toppydale.
We've got plenty of spares. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. So, anything else new, Mark, coming up in 2021?
Yeah. The thing is, there's lots of excitement. I think for me, the APT is probably going to be the icing on the cake this year. That's the one that I'm kind of saving for at the moment. I might go for some more of the Curascow PTA wagons. They're on my radar.
Actually, there's a few things from the Curascow I'm looking forward to, actually.
Yeah. There's the odd Class 37 that I'm rather looking forward to.
Something even better than that.
Yes, I know there is. And I know where you're going with this.
Do you?
I think so.
It's purple.
Yes.
Was that the one you were thinking of?
I was thinking of the purple one.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's the Delta that upset everyone. They're doing 9016 Gordon Highlander in Porterbrook purple. I had an Engage Graham Farish one. I still got the Engage Graham Farish limited edition of it from donkey years ago.
Yeah.
They only did a very short run of that from the old pool factory. That was. And I've got both 47817 and D9816 in Porterbrook livery, and I've always wanted that in a sort of super high detail model. So it's another one of those that as soon as they said they were doing it, it's like, take my money, take it before I think about it.
Yeah, I mean, for me, the Class 37, I think there'll be a few of those, especially the large logo blue versions, the Scottish versions that they're doing, are definitely on my radar.
Except the DRS ones are the ones that catch my eye there a bit.
Right, okay.
Which a little bit out of character.
Well, they look good with the PFA wagons.
As well, yeah. And on the DRS side as well, actually, the Batman Class 20/3 as well. I'm looking forward to seeing that land. I know it's not far away from arriving with us for review, but I think it's sort of early new year when it's due to arrive. So.
Yeah.
But if I've got to pick one thing, then it's got to be the W1. The W1, please, I want the W1 or 5 would do.
Yes, I mean that really does look the part.
Yeah.
It really does.
Such a unique locomotive again, especially in its original form. I actually really like it even in its later streamlined form, where it's much more conventional locomotive. But it's a little bit like GT3 for me. It's one of the kind of poster pictures you had on your bedroom wall as a kid, or maybe just me. But W1 was always up there as that unique kind of thing you want to own and have as your own. So.
Will you run it, or will it go into the display cabinet?
Oh, it's definitely get run.
Yeah.
And so if he doesn't, I will.
To be fair, I would like to get an original one and a rebuilt one.
Yeah.
The rebuilt one, I'd get the BR one, which would go into the BR Eastern Region fleet that I have for layouts. The original Hush Hush one might go on display upstairs with some of my other collections. So. Yeah.
I mean, we are selecting all these things, but we still don't know what's coming for Hornby in 2021.
It's very true. And actually, there's not long to wait now for the Hornby announcements for 2021. Their catalogue is going to be revealed on January the 5th. So, 10, 11 days from when this video goes live. And then we'll be
It's going to be expensive.
We know this. And we'll be back. As soon as that's live, we'll be back with another video, which is purely about Hornby's 2021 range. So you can expect a full rundown from us, going through all those new releases for 2021 from Hornby.
I'm excited.
Yeah. And that video, I should say, will be live on January the 5th.
It will. I hope.
It will. It will, Richard.
It will.
Right, so next then. What is next?
It's got to be presents, surely.
Presents.
Well, there's presents under the tree.
These are real then?
They better be real. It's the only reason I'm here.
Mind you, it's the only reason I would have dressed up like this.
We've all gone festive. I mean, Richard's got a hat. I've got a Christmas t-shirt on as well. Yeah,
I've got my normal attire.
Your fellow road system jumper.
Road system, yeah.
Right then, let's gather around the tree then for a socially distanced present gathering. Right, so this is the exciting part, for me anyway, because I found out that they are real. Well, slightly unusual, but we're getting used to this in 2020, but Christmas presents at a distance. Who wants to go first?
After you, Richard.
After me, so right.
Yeah.
I thought this is really important because it's technically my first Christmas here, and my colleagues, I wanted to treat you to something extra special, really. And I thought, it's not wrapped, I will warn you. It kind of is wrapped, but I wanted to treat you both because I thought you're bound to get frankincense and myrrh, so I thought I'd get you some gold. Pass you around the tree.
You're too kind.
So there you go. I mean, I'll be honest, it took me quite a while. I was browsing the confectionery section for quite a while.
What you don't realise is going to be a quiet time in the house today. You've got to go back inside with it. That's Whisper Gold's like one of the favourites in the household. So, don't sit there. Got to make us happy. Buy Whisper Gold. Thank you very much. Richard.
You see, they thought it was a joke, but no, this is flattery of the highest kind. Well, there was a lot of testing involved in picking the right one, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah. Well, you can rest easy now. Part of the team, well done. Keep happy with chocolate.
Chocolate, sorted.
Just don't ask, obviously it's a multi-pack, but don't ask where the other two went.
You had to give them individually though, for a multi-pack.
Yeah, because I didn't sell them. Had to test they weren't poisoned.
So, bit of fun. Yeah.
Just saying mine was deadly serious.
For you,
Thank you, Mark.
Should we open these together?
can do.
Was that
Time.
HO for HO scale?
You make a guess. Well, do you think I'd be that obvious?
I'm just impressed with the wrapping because I can't get in it.
I am that obvious.
You are that obvious. That's hilarious, to be fair.
They're quite fun though, aren't they?
They are. They came in this year, and obviously with everything that's been going on, it took the accessory company Bush not that long to come up with some tongue-in-cheek diorama figures.
So, which one have you got?
So I have got The Fight, or La Dispute, which is basically a fight over some toilet rolls in a supermarket.
I have panic buying, which is people with trolleys full of toilet rolls. Very topical.
Yeah, so I have the transport, so I can take all the toilet roll out. Includes a van as well.
We thought you'd like that.
You might be able to get it on the Fowler system.
Yeah, well, technically, we do. Excellent, thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Mark.
They're certainly different.
I notice how all the big boxes are props.
As is the sack.
Would you like one from each?
Oh, for me, thank you very much.
And one for you.
Oh, big box.
Well, let's see.
I'm always nervous about Christmas presents. I don't think I'm very good at buying Christmas presents.
Well, we'll judge.
Yeah, I know I'll be good in a minute.
Thank you very much. Let's have a look.
You should say thank you after you've opened it, Mark.
It's very well wrapped.
I'm not allowed to do that. No.
I am intrigued. As you can see, no finesse in terms of ripping it open.
It's the best bit.
I'll get it open. Is it breakable if I...
It is breakable, yes.
I could be gentle.
Is this bit a test? Test you can open the box.
Oh dear.
Well, what can I say?
That works really well, that does.
Fantastic.
And just in case
Get a
you
close
forget
up
who you are, then it's got your own
Yes.
names on it as well, so you can't get confused with whose copy it is.
That is amazing. Lovely. Thank you very much. Well, that's going to take quite a place on the desk. Fantastic. Love it.
What did you say, Richard?
Thank you very much.
Mine says Richard's a mug. Yours says Mark's workshop mug.
It does. Yeah. Fantastic.
No, it does say Richard's workshop mug.
No, it's brilliant. I love that. Thank you.
Thank you,
very
Mike.
much indeed. Welcome. Super duper.
James Smith, and I'm the owner of Smith's Model Railways, based in Sheringham in Norfolk, just on the main high street, really close to the North Norfolk Railway. So we stock from N gauge to O gauge, brands like Pico, Graham Farish, Hornby, Batman. Just launched our new loyalty card just after lockdown when we reopened. So we also offer these gift vouchers. You can either contact us via our telephone, email, or with our contact form on our website.
Well, we hope you've enjoyed our Christmas show today, and indeed all the Hornby magazine shows we've done over the past 12 months. Hopefully you've enjoyed watching them as much as we've enjoyed putting them together. We've got some great plans for 2021 too.
That's right, got loads of plans for the Hornby magazine show in 2021 and for the magazine as well. And our first issue of the new year goes on sale on January the 7th. That's available from stores nationwide and from our website as well. And that's issue 164. Now, an important thing to tell you about issue 164 is that in Tesco stores and at shop.keypublishing.com, we've got exclusive multi-sale offer to buy Hornby magazine and the Hornby 2021 catalogue together for a discounted price. So the Tesco offer is available in stores from January the 6th until January the 19th, while it's available from shop.keypublishing.com from January the 6th to the end of the month as well.
So all that's left to do is for me to wish you a Merry Christmas, and we hope you have a Happy New Year. Don't forget, as ever, if you want to see more, don't forget to subscribe down below and hit that like button. Now we're just going to leave you with some highlights from the 2020 so far.
So if I count to 3 and then we do the one Mississippi, two Mississippi
Okay,
heads,
yeah.
and then we go, Merry Christmas.
Okay.
Does that work?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas!
We've got a low relief terraced house with a pebble dash finish. We've got a bell tent. We've got some straight platform sections. We've got low relief retaining walls, low relief honeystone cottage, 2 domestic and small industrial tanks. We've got narrow gauge slate road. It's doing really well.
You even got that pebble dash for that, right?
No, I held it in. No, please.
Well done.
1, 2, 3.
Merry
Christmas!
Do we wave or not?
I don't know.
I waved.
Okay, and then raised the jib, you can actually turn the crane body now as well. That can swing.
The global pandemic, the UK has been highly high in lockdown. Many businesses have been affected, particularly from home.
So one of the features I was really keen to introduce here was the power supply for the third rail. Because obviously the third rail power uses a 750 volt DC nonsense, talking total nonsense. Can I start again, please?
In fact, why don't we take a look at the junction? No, that's rubbish.
Come join us for a tour of the junction.
Come join us for a tour of the junction. So why not watch? Why not watch? Let's watch the junction in action. That's probably the sort of thing I should. So having looked at the station, let's look in more detail. So having looked at the
Pressure of having new junction.
Too many junction.
So we've got to go 1, 2. Merry Christmas!
Yeah.
Okay. 1, 2.
Merry Christmas! Oh wait.
Yeah, do one more. 1, 2. Merry Christmas!
Oh, I didn't even say it that time. Trains.
Cut it.
Yeah. So there we go, that's the first day done at Model Rail Scotland. As you can see, it's been an absolutely fantastic day. The weather is still sunny outside. We're just going to the hotel now and we're back tomorrow, which is the Saturday, for more. So good morning, you join me on Saturday morning for Model Rail Scotland. As you can see, the rain has cleared up lovely, so we've got some lovely weather today. Now, what have we got on today? We're going to capture a few sessions. And who knows, maybe you'll send me off to the Chinese factory to see what it's like now, I suppose.
Yeah. If we can, we certainly will.
anything for a foreign trip.
That's it.
Yeah, just looking for lunch out. Sorry.
1, 2.
Merry Christmas!
Oh, I wasn't looking at the camera. 1, 2.
Merry Christmas! One of them's got to work.
I hope so.